What's the taco?
Chicken taco.
Chicken taco.
Hard shell.
I
Love
like
chicken
it.
tacos.
Yeah.
Hard shell.
Hard shell.
Hard shell. Hard shell.
I'm gonna have to try that.
You know, I'm going to be frank. I'm not a big hard shell guy.
What?
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 Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
definitely a hard
if I
shell.
if I had the choice, I'm going soft shell
Nope. Hard shell every time.
Every time.
every time.
But, okay, but
most
like,
of the
are
time.
you eating the hard shell? Like, do you pre-break the hard shell?
No.
Really?
Well, they just break on
They-
their
That's
own.
what
That's
I'm
the
saying.
bad thing
So
about
that's like,
them.
do you
Well-
put, like, if I eat a hard shell, I usually like crack the bottom, you know, so that you get a closer clamp. You ever do that? So you just kind of lay it on the side and you press it down, and it cracks the bottom. So then
you can get a closer clamp to keep
Yeah.
the product
to
in.
keep everything in there, and it's
Smart.
not falling apart. It's almost
Oh, yeah.
more like a tostada sandwich instead of like a hard shell
You know-
taco.
LJ, I do appreciate the redesign of the taco shell. So it's a wider base, so it'll sit without tipping over. Because that was always something that
There was a
bugged me.
redesign.
There's a
Yeah,
redesign.
They have. Well, I think it's a
Oh,
specific.
LJ.
I think
I
it's
think the brand. I don't know the yellow box.
El Paso.
Yeah,
That's El
they have
Paso,
a thicker base, and it's like a.
That's like worse.
Wider.
Though.
no,
That's worse.
And they stand
You
up on
can't
themselves.
pinch.
Oh, it's great.
It
yeah,
stands
there's
up,
no
so it
pinch.
doesn't tip
You can
over.
pinch.
Because when it
There's no
tips over, the
pinch.
product's falling everywhere. That's what I didn't like.
That's why you pinch it. You pre-break it. You pinch
Mark,
it.
so you're grinding on.
People
draft.
think
I got my team.
People are gonna think Mark's just never a part of
I
these
know.
opening segments because he's just
well,
grinding.
now we're going to have taco companies dropping off
I love
shells
it.
and stuff.
I'm fine with
I'm
that.
good,
Big
yeah.
Mexican
Taco debate.
Yeah.
Okay. Anywho,
No, the standalone it's great, but for loading in, but there's no pinch. You got to have the pinch. That's
Oh.
my thing.
I think
All three of
they're
us.
calling me right now.
All three
The
of us.
taco company.
All three of us.
I feel left out. Welcome back to another round at Sweet Shots. I'm going to introduce ourselves this time because it's been a while. All four of us have been here. So Lucas Johnson, alongside Nick Johnson, Chuck Johnson, Mark Johnson, all the way down on the end. What a week of golf. I mean, this is back-to-back week, gents, of just, I don't know if controversy is the right word, but a lot's going on in the golf world. There's a lot going on in the golf world. But, Mark, we're glad you're here because I know we were a little up in the air. This might have been a three-man show. It's a four-man show. But you served your civic duty this morning with jury duty.
Yeah, got called for jury duty, and I was fired up,
You ready to?
ready to go do my duty. And
Did you figure out what the case was?
no, we went in there. And have you done jury duty, Chuck?
I have.
Nick?
I have not.
You haven't served it?
What?
No,
Buckle up, buddy.
Okay.
still haven't.
Well, we can't tell them all the secret stuff that goes on,
Nope,
but I
that's
can
true.
say, yeah, so we watched the 15-minute video, and I read the booklet because you got a little time to kill while the people are checking in and whatnot. And long story short, I took about a 50-minute nap. and that's part of your civic duty. I mean, you need to be patient while you're waiting. They tell you that. That's as important as being like present in.
I thought you were talking about your civic duty is
Just
taking a nap.
yeah.
You have to be well rested going into
well,
this
be
jury
present.
duty.
So I was meditating, and then they came in at about 9:40 and said a plea deal has been agreed, and so you are dismissed. And the good news is this fulfilled our civic duty.
So you don't have to
No.
go back now.
Don't
That
have to go
counts.
back. So
Wow.
in one
Piece
one
of
sense,
cake.
I'm like, yeah, that's great. In another sense, it's like, well, I was kind of geared up. I was ready to
You
go.
were ready.
I was
That's how
going to
I
maybe
felt.
be the foreman this time. I felt
Really?
like that's how ready I was
Is this
this time.
multiple times now you've served?
I've yeah.
Oh.
My third time I've been called.
I've only had it once.
Wow.
And
I
it
thought
was
you could only
probably
get called once.
Oh, no.
no.
You get called multiple times.
Nick.
Didn't know.
Jury of your peers.
Now I know.
I was, and I got it, the letter in the mail. I was pretty excited because that's what I studied in college, criminal justice. I was like you, Mark. I was ready to serve, but I think I had one of the worst jury experiences somebody could have.
I'm up there with you.
Are you?
Well, no, I've heard your story.
You have
Yours,
everybody-
you've
yeah,
told
no.
me, but yes, it toughs.
But that's where I always put it like if you've seen 12 Angry Jurors or 12 Angry Men,
Yep.
that was my life for that day in jury. I mean, it was like except we were flipped, but yeah, we went in there. We got in there. It was super interesting. The trial, everything going on. But man, I tell you what, it was 11-1 not guilty to guilty. and this gal just would not budge. And it took us from probably, what was it? We were deliberating before lunch, and we left at probably 8:30 at night.
That evening.
And it was ended up being a hung jury because
Couldn't convince her.
she would not budge. And the only reason it was a hung jury was we were deliberating. She wasn't going to change. We were like, come on, you gotta. And in the pre-process when they're selecting jurors, they ask you, do you have any biases that might affect this case? Or I guess the question was, do you have any, to her anyway, do you have any family in law enforcement? She said, yes, I've got a son who is a forensic scientist for a police department. And they asked her, is this going to have any bias on the case? She said, no. Then at about 7:30 p.m., she lets it slip that she can't go back to her son and tell him that she caved and changed her mind. It's like,
Oh, no.
come on. You can switch. I mean, let us know that at like lunch. And we'll go back. But that was a long day. The process itself was really cool, but that was long. I was 12. I lived
That's
out
brutal.
12 Angry Men.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
So that's what you got in store, Nick.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, there's never a good time to do it, but it's important to do, and we all deserve a jury of our peers. Looking around the room this morning, however, if I don't know how this group would have made up whoever this person's peers was, there were some different cats in that room.
Is that right? So
I'm
you
beginning to think I'm not normal anymore.
We're not.
So he takes a plea deal. What do you
Last
think
minute.
it probably was?
We're-
What if you're convicting a murderer?
Well, I don't know. I was going to go online and just see what was
cases?
teed up for today.
Yeah.
But again, looking around the room, it's like, oh man, okay, this could be interesting.
Well, that's like when I was in there, I had the same deal. It was like, there's people all over. There's different people, and it's crazy to think about. Like you just kind of get in your shell every once in a while in your bubble,
Yeah,
and there's different cats that are out there, different ways of thinking. But when I say it was 12, I mean we had one guy that was like the character in 12 Angry Men, where that's just like he's guilty and you won't convince me otherwise.
You're the old
And
man.
You just want it was an old grumpy dude that is just it's not guilty. Let's get out of here. Let's go, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
And then we had one holdout. But yeah, so that's
so
where
have you seen that movie?
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
that
great
is
movie.
a good movie.
it's a great one. Well, my sister, your cousin Cassie, she Shanley did the play.
That's right.
They did a nice job with that one.
Yeah.
That was that was the most unique play I've ever been to because you were on stage
Yes.
with the actors in the jury room,
Yeah.
jurors room,
You were on
in the
stage.
deliberation room.
Yep.
So it was very unique. You felt like you were in the room with them. So no one was sitting out in the seats.
You
All
were
the
right
chairs,
there.
seats were on stage.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. That's an underrated film, I think.
It is. Yeah, it is really underrated.
Is it all black and white too?
It is black and white. It's
Yeah.
old.
What? Why did you guys watch this?
Very
Yeah.
old movie.
What the hell? Why are you youngins?
In school.
Well,
I had
I
to watch
watched-
it
they had to watch
in my
it in
long
school.
class. But then I've seen it on my own too. I love the movie. It's
Oh,
a great
okay.
movie.
I watched it.
that's good.
I watched it in college. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I watched Cassie do it on stage
Okay.
before that.
And it's
Okay.
it's not long. It's
No, it's
like an hour and some change.
Change,
Like,
yeah.
It's not
Okay.
long.
I might watch it again.
I just did like
Get my fix.
2 years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah, by myself. It's one of my favorite movies. I don't know.
How
something-
old of a
Wow.
movie is it?
Like-
60s?
60s.
No.
70s?
It's older than that. It's like
it really?
50s. It's really old.
Like who?
It's black and white.
No, it's old.
Gents, what a crazy week of golf. It seems like we've had 2 back-to-back weeks, crazy weeks of golf.
Very crazy.
Mark and Chuck, you guys weren't even here for probably the craziest of it all with the waste management.
That's right.
Well, a lot of off-course craziness.
There was
Yeah.
a lot of non-golf related craziness, but that
Yeah.
happened at a golf course.
Yeah. Yeah, but this week's event, I was all in. Riviera is one of my favorite. This stretch
Is that right?
between Torrey, Pebble, Waste Management, just because we've been there and seen the course, and then Riviera, all the history. It's a great track. Tiger's playing.
Tiger coming back.
Yeah.
You know, it's a great field, great course.
Yep.
I got side action with Jeff Kolpak on Tiger making the cut. I was into it.
You were in.
And then
Yeah,
you
it got kind of kicks, like you said, it kind of kickstarts the golf season, at least for us. And then you look outside and we got 50-degree
Yeah,
weather
beautiful.
in February.
yeah.
I mean,
So,
how do
really
you
good
argue with
weekend
that?
what do you think happened first to Tiger? Hit the shank or have the
Have the runs?
squirts? What do you think happened first?
Well, on that shank shot, you were in the
His
office.
last
Yeah,
hole.
we watched
boy.
it.
We
I saw it.
We
yeah.
watched it live too.
Well, I didn't see it, but
Oh.
Jordy had it streaming, and I heard the shot. I went, "Ooh, that didn't sound good." It was
I just sounded like, was that Tiger?
Yeah.
Tiger to shank?
Oh,
It's just crazy.
that was tough to watch.
I think he said his back was spasming.
Yeah, his back was spasming.
Oh,
He
I'm gonna use
owned
that
it.
one.
He owned it in the interview afterwards. I think it was Dan Rappaport was going to be kind of nice about it. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say. He's like, no, I shanked one. Like I presented Hazel first. I think is what he said.
That's awesome.
And then it
Been
was,
there.
Yeah.
So he still has a respectable round. I think he ended up one over.
One over.
One
maybe.
over with
Yeah.
the
I mean,
shank,
made
yeah.
bogey with from where he was after that shank,
Yeah.
and then the next day, I don't know, he was maybe another. He was one over for that round, maybe two over for the tournament.
Yep.
6 holes in, maybe,
Yeah.
and felt
Sounds right.
dizzy,
Sounds right,
and he was dehydrated, and
They brought it. They brought everything out. All the stops. You'd have thought that it was a multi-person deal. Did you see how many fire trucks and ambulances?
Ambulance.
went?
Yeah, I saw an ambulance showed up.
Did they?
Yeah.
Lights of flashing.
Should have IV'd him.
Well, that's what they were saying they were doing, but they didn't have any IVs at the course, so that's why they had to call everybody in.
When John Daly plays, there's always on
Yeah,
site.
yeah, something-
Different reason.
Huh. Okay.
So that's too bad.
It's a
'cause
little disappointing.
and you start looking at Tiger's record, the last few years, he hasn't finished many tournaments.
No.
Like,
No. Well, hold on. Before we get to that, so he obviously he WD'd. What happened with your bet with Jeff Kolpak? How does that work out?
well, Jeff wanted to. We went to a third party. He wanted to bring in McCullough and McFeely as the judges, and I said John Mark as the rules official. I'd feel a little more comfortable with, or perhaps Bishop Folda. But
Level-headed.
he sent out a text, and Cookie, McCullough, McFeely, they all voted. That's a miscut.
Ooh, tough.
Yeah.
So I'll have to settle up
Tough
with Jeff.
loss
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's-
that's
That's a miscut for Tiger.
I don't know. He didn't. Yeah. I guess that you could go both ways. 'Cause he didn't have the opportunity to
That's what I said.
miss a cut.
Yeah,
but at
that's
the
exactly
same-
what I said.
At the same time,
his score
didn't
was
make-
high enough though, where it's like even if he would have finished that round,
if he doesn't make a
because
move,
the cut line was one under, couple under.
I think it was one under.
Was it that low?
Yeah, it was
one
one.
under.
I think it was
Yeah.
low. This
So
No.
without, I mean, if he would have been in that realm of score, I mean,
Yeah.
even 1 under, 2 under.
It's just odd, Tiger. If he's asked, well, why are you ready to play? Well, yeah, I wouldn't. If I didn't think I'd win, I wouldn't tee it up. But yet he has not even come close
No.
lately. So I don't know if he needs to really lower his expectation levels so everybody can kind of just go, hey, Tiger's playing, good for Tiger.
Hope he
Be a
makes the
complete
cut.
bonus if he makes the cut.
Yep.
Otherwise,
Yep.
he's not going to contend. He's just not. It's hard to play at that level when you're not doing it.
Right.
yeah. Well, he had his goal. He wants to play one time a month, right? Once a month. And then you look at the tournaments that are coming up. It's a lot of elevated fields that he'd be playing in. So then it's like, okay, does he want to really throw himself into basically the deep end,
Yeah.
right? Of playing with the top guys in the world. How often are you going to make a cut coming off of, like you said, how many
Yeah.
rounds have you played in the last year? Even
Right.
How old's Tiger?
he is 48.
Couple years, Champions Tour.
Yep.
Mm.
I thought I saw though he said that he wasn't really interested in the Champions Tour, but maybe if he wants to get out and win, he's going to be
Well, there's no
Probably
guarantee
be-
there
Well, I
either.
bet he plays the
Well, he hits
majors.
50 yards past
Yeah.
everybody on there.
I would guess
seen
he
his
would
shirt?
play the majors, right? In the
Maybe.
Champions, and they might
Yeah.
line up around the regular majors. Maybe that's how he gets himself. Maybe he uses the
his games.
Champions Tour majors to tune up for the regular majors.
Could do that. Yep.
Only plays the
Do those
majors
count
of both
towards
tours.
major
Just
championships?
wins all
Just
the majors.
majors.
I don't
Okay.
think so. I don't think so.
Can't
But-
catch Jack
Ooh.
by beating the senior
Oh,
tour.
yeah, you can't. That's
But at
probably
least
not gonna
Tiger's
count.
not. He didn't have to WD because of his knee or his
Something.
back.
Yeah.
I was worried
Just
when he was saying
does it
his
in and
back
out.
was spasming after the shank. It was like, oh boy, what happened now? But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, it was influenza is what they called it. But To pivot a little bit, Nick, did you see we got our answer for? Did you guys see his design, the Tiger Woods Sunday
did.
Red?
Sunday
Yep,
Red, yeah.
yep.
Did you see that the tiger? So it's got 15 stripes. That the leaping tiger that he's got,
Okay.
and each stripe represents a major victory.
Yep.
And
That's cool.
we joked on the show last week. We said, "What are they going to do? Just redesign the logo if he wins it?" Well, you said when he wins another major.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're going to do. They came out
They
and
said
said
that?
Yep,
Yeah.
at
This is
at
his
the press
Sunday
conference.
shirt.
Yeah, Sunday Red.
Well, just
yeah.
his
He's got
logo
to
in
kind
general.
of make it to a Sunday.
I know.
Yeah, there you go.
Will he wear it as the tournament host? Because right now that's the only way he's getting.
He can't. He wasn't even there as a tournament host
Yeah.
this week.
Yeah.
That's right.
But yeah, we got our answer. They are redesigning the logo if he wins another major.
I was just
but
thinking they would add another
one more
line on his
stripe.
tail every time. It'd just be like,
Okay,
long
so-
tail.
So the
Bigger
other
tiger.
big story from that, Spieth signs
Yeah.
an incorrect scorecard.
I'm bitter.
After day 2,
Trunk slammer. He's out.
Yeah, which, okay, conspiracy theory time. A lot of people are throwing around that In-N-Out that was served at Riviera is the whole culprit of this thing. The In-N-Out burgers got Tiger sick. Word is that Jordan Spieth had some In-N-Out for lunch
Yeah.
and then got the runs. So then he was hightailing it out of the scorecard room without checking his scorecard. People are saying Patrick Cantlay woke up with 105 fever. Or not 105, but over 100 fever on Sunday.
Well, he played terrible.
In and
That
out,
explained
yeah.
it.
I don't know anything about food poisoning,
So
but my
food
understanding
poisoning
is
from
that
In-N-Out.
after visiting with an expert in food and beverage, Pat Lipsy, I think it's an immediate deal. Like when you consume something that's not good,
You feel
you
it then.
immediately get sick. I think it's more likely there was a legitimate bug
going around.
going around,
Sure.
and they're passing it to one another and happened to, have a meal together, and everybody's going to
Yep.
blame it on that. But
Okay.
I
But
don't.
yeah, Jordan Spieth, it's disqualification. He signed for an incorrect scorecard.
And he owned it.
Wrote down a
Did.
3
Yep.
and made a 4.
24.
Okay.
So his player, who was it? Was it Tom Kim?
I was with him.
Who was keeping his score?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe. Sounds right.
Wrote down a 3 when it should have been 4. He had just made
Whoops.
double. He had just made double on 18.
yeah.
And rumor has it he had to get to the bathroom. So he's in there signing his scorecard, signs it.
I've done it. I mean, I've done it like where you just don't check the scores all that much because you're just, whether you're mad or you got somewhere else to be, you just, yep, looks good,
off.
sign it and
Yeah.
go. I mean, most of the time before you sign it, before you even hand the scorecard to the
Right.
other guy.
Is it a case where, like, when I played, I had it in my head that I knew I shot 76, and the total by my playing partner was 76, but I didn't do a whole calc. Is that
Have
in
to do
essence?
hole by hole.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Is that in essence what we're saying? He probably did here.
The only thing a player is responsible for is your hole by hole score.
Sure.
You are not responsible to do math. No one's ever been disqualified if the
For
math didn't
adding.
equal
Yeah.
up
Okay.
to whatever the score.
Hole
It's
by
the
hole.
hole
Okay,
by
sure.
hole. That's the only thing the player is accountable to.
Sure.
And it's simple for those guys. On the scorecard that they're keeping, there's usually a perforated bottom edge that they're
Yeah.
keeping their own score.
Right.
They tear it off. They lay it next to the scorecard that their partner kept for them, and you just look at those scores.
Sure.
It's a simple procedure
Right.
to avoid this happening.
But, when you got to go, you got to go.
I know, but in that situation, I think,
Yeah.
it's easy. We're sitting here, but I would think in that situation, you go, hey, Jim, scorekeeper, official guy, I really got to go.
I need a
If
couple
you just
minutes.
hang on to this for a minute,
Right.
I'm going to keep the card right here. I'm not taking it with me. I'm going to go use the men's room, and then I'll be back and I'll finish checking my card.
There's
Right.
there's a loud contingent. I'm not going to say large. They're just loud. But saying the rule is outdated. It's
Well, I know. I
was
saw
gonna
that.
bring
I was going to
up.
ask you about
yeah,
that.
I was too. It's like, why not let him play the next day? Give him a 2-stroke penalty
Yep.
instead of disqualifying.
It does
For
seem
something-
pretty severe.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, he had to go to the bathroom. Let's say it's an honest mistake. I mean, it doesn't happen often. He wasn't. I mean, clearly not trying to cheat. So
I figured we'd talk about this, and I thought Mark would take the stance as the purist, the history of the game. It's hey, rules are rules. This is where I kind of thought we would go. When I saw a lot of feedback on X too of the going, come on, at this day and age, that's the penalty is
Right. Yeah.
disqualification.
I agree.
And I'm on the fence. I don't know.
There, the argument that you're alluding to, Chuck, was basically like there's shot link data.
Yes.
There's TV data. There's
Everybody watching
all
knows
this. Yep,
that he.
they know that he
Yep.
made a 4. They know
Yeah,
that he
right.
shot whatever it was. and I can see that, but I also don't. I feel like that does take away from the game a little bit. I'm kind of in that traditional sense.
Sure.
I could see the rule. Obviously, I think we still need the rule being here. Maybe it is a 2-stroke penalty. It's not a disqualification, but I mean, if you Mark
maybe
said,
the tour could do that, but
Yeah.
I
Every
think
level.
high school tournament. I think you have different levels, and where you don't have all those eyes on everything.
Yeah.
I think
That's right.
A kid in high school shaving, 4 strokes over the course of 4 holes, a 2-stroke penalty is not
Right.
not
that's
going to do much.
fair. So it's got to have some teeth. But the tour,
That's true.
But here's the challenge with the tour too: is those scorekeepers out there that are inputting scores, they get it wrong all the time.
Oh yeah, you look at
they
the
don't
shot
realize
data.
the player made double because he had to take a drop or an unplayable.
You got the funny side of things are they'll record like a 1. Like they misclick and it's a 1 on a par 5, and all of a sudden they're right up at the top of the leaderboard.
Yeah.
But that's why they say that's unofficial, right? Even the online scoring that we do for our tournaments, it's unofficial. Always go by the paper scorecard. That's
Sure.
what,
At
like
the end.
Mark was saying, that's what you control. That's
Right.
That's what you are responsible
Yeah.
for. And I think that's probably the camp that I'm in. I mean, you're responsible for that score.
I agree.
I could see, maybe the tour makes a modification, says, it's a 2-stroke penalty under a certain situation.
Yeah.
But it's just not hard to sign for the correct score. So
Yeah.
it seems like a big change for something that's not hard.
Shouldn't be that tough.
It
not.
shouldn't be. And it doesn't happen all that often, right? So it's
Right.
like,
Well,
And that was-
speaking of happen,
Yeah.
Nick, prior to coming on, he asked me, there was a major? Was it the Masters where a guy signed a wrong card?
DiVincenzo,
That's right.
Yeah.
I said
he lost the.
Didn't he win the Masters? And
Yeah.
then on the
Yeah.
Sunday,
he signed
he
the wrong.
signed the wrong
He signed for an incorrect scorecard.
after he had already won the tournament.
Well, I think he signed for a stroke higher. Now, if you sign for something higher, you just have to take that score, that higher
Right.
score. You're not disqualified.
Okay.
So if you made
So
a 4, but the person wrote down 5 and you signed for it,
you're taking the 5.
yeah, I think that's what happened to him.
But then by doing
So-
so, he ended up second place and lost.
I'm wondering
right?
if he lost in a playoff.
I think he had to go into a playoff and lose.
So he don't get the green jacket.
That's rough. A
can I
bet
just put it on just for a second?
Oh my god!
actually won.
Oh,
That's a
that
bad
You
deal.
win and then
And then they go,
incorrect scorecards. and then
That's
you
a
sorry
bad deal.
about that.
So we
have
had a
to go to a
situation.
playoff.
We had a situation in the North Dakota Open. Feel bad for these guys. They're out of money. It's the last event on the tour, and this guy was leading going into the back 9, the tournament. I think he might have been leading going into Sunday, and he wasn't playing great, and he got to 15, the par 3, and it was very close. Now the whole tournament was close, very much in doubt. Anyways, his playing competitor, keeping his score, left 15 green, walked to 16 tee, didn't watch him putt out, but knew that he only had like a 1.5 putt on 15 for par,
Yeah.
and walked to 16 and just wrote down 3 because it was
Assuming he
it was
made
a
it.
gimme.
Yeah.
Assuming he made it.
Yep.
He didn't make it.
Oh boy.
Wow.
All right. So he made a 4. His fellow competitor wrote down 3. The player that was in contention that made the 4 instead of 3 makes double or triple on 18.
Oh.
So he's not going to win the tournament. He's oblivious that we have a wrong score written
Right, he
down for
doesn't
on
know that.
15 yet. So he makes triple on 18 and loses the tournament. But I think he still would have finished second or third, which was pretty good money,
good money.
for those
Oh, yeah.
guys.
Yep.
And he was upset, and in the scoring booth didn't check his score.
Oh, no.
Signed his card, turned it in, and then 5 minutes later, he's at the scoreboard, and he's looking at the board. He goes, I didn't shoot 72. I shot 73. So he came to us. He goes, can I see my card? Can I see the cards? I shot 73, not 72. It's posted as 72. And then he looked at it and he went, oh,
Oh, no.
my bad. I mean, there were
That's
tears.
commendable.
Yeah, it was a bad.
That
bad,
is,
bad
but
deal.
that's a disqualification,
Right?
right?
DQ then.
So then he got DQ'd and he lost his
Oh, no.
second place or third place money.
Ouch.
And that might have
Tell
been
you what.
career altering for him.
Absolutely.
sure.
Well, yeah. I mean, you talk about winning alone. I mean, that gets you your entry into Q School. That's your sponsored sponsor. You get that paid for. But then you're looking a couple $1,000s on top of that for second, probably.
Yeah, I think it was probably at least $6,000.
Yeah.
$5 or $6,000.
Which
Ouch.
I mean,
Oh, boy.
for the last tournament of the season, and then you got to say that to. Yeah,
Yeah.
gentleman's sport. I mean,
It is.
that's
Yeah.
impressive. They
They came
got
forward.
that kind of money on the line. I mean, that's impressive. But yeah, tough stories like that, and it's tough to believe that it happens at the PGA level. You know,
Yeah.
Just-
All the
I
technology.
think it goes
everything they're using.
back to that the technology argument is, you should know what you're shooting, right?
Yeah.
Yep. What if the person that kept the score would also be penalized? So, like, if I'm
Interesting.
keeping your score, Nick,
So you're
I got to
playing
pay
partner?
attention to
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Sure.
I'm in on this thing too here. I got
Yeah.
to be accurate. I don't know, on the PGA Tour. I don't know.
At that level.
What if it's whoever got it wrong? Like if the guy that wrote your score down wrong, like you get the
Yeah.
penalty. If you're like, no, I made a 3, you wrote down a 4. Like
You fool.
you
You're
get
not
the
paying
penalty.
attention to my score. You get a 2-stroke. Man. You get DQ'd. You're out of the tournament.
You get
because-
DQ'd.
You get DQ'd because you couldn't pay attention to my game. Now we're talking.
I like it.
But that's why you got the 2-person system, right?
Yeah,
So you keep
yeah.
each other in check.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they're playing in twosomes at that tournament.
Right. I think they were.
So the whole week. So you just don't think it'd be that hard. So yeah, then you get to positive side of Riv. You got Hideki Matsuyama overcoming, was it 6 shots?
shots, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
6 shot
Shoots
comeback.
62 on Sunday and
Yeah.
just lights it up. I mean, the guy, Hideki might be objectively one of the funniest guys on tour just because of the way that he acts when he hits his golf shots. There was a shot from I forget how far it was, but he one hand finished it.
All the time.
And he goes to 6 inches.
Oh,
It's
really?
like, yeah, it was like, and he shoots 62, and he tells the reporter afterwards that it felt like a 3 over par round. It's like, oh my gosh,
wow.
Hideki.
Didn't feel like I hit it very good.
Yeah, it's like
That's
you just
crazy.
shot 62. But I
So-
mean, that's like the highlight clip of Hideki Matsuyama is going to be one-handed finish and the ball going inside 10 feet.
I love it.
And I bet you it's over an hour
Oh,
long.
there's so many.
That's good.
He's
I've
so
seen some,
funny.
yeah.
I think
So
he's,
as a fork, sorry to cut you off,
No,
but
you're
as you
good.
think
You're good.
about his game and a past Masters champion,
yeah.
I wonder what his odds are right now because
Mm.
I'd like that guy at Augusta again.
It's probably only going to get worse odds. Like you'd make more money now putting a bet down now than you would closer to April.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That's fair.
Right? Is
Yep.
that how the
Yep.
odds work there?
Yep.
Yep.
Unless he breaks his arm or something.
Unless he breaks his arm. But yeah, I mean, course history is always huge. We talk about that at Augusta. I like that.
Hey, Hoagie played well.
Really well.
Played
Yeah,
really well.
he
He
played
made
really well.
like 650,000 this week.
What did he finish?
T8.
Top 10?
Eighth, I think. T8. Yeah. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I
Last
watched
week.
all of Sunday's telecasts.
I
I
don't
never
see
showed
him.
him
Never.
once.
You don't
Not
see him.
once.
Yeah.
They just do not
Not
show
a
that guy.
single shot.
Top
and then
10.
I saw the leaderboard. I'm like, whoa, he was like 500.
That's
for the
exactly it, right? Like, and it's not just Tom, but like every once in a while, you'll just see names creep
Yes.
up the leaderboard, and you're like, where did they come from?
day. Exactly.
You know,
Yeah.
It's not like they don't have cameras all over the golf
got
course.
cameras
Every
everywhere.
guy.
Totally simple. Here's an approach shot from Tom
Yeah.
Hoagie.
he's moving up the leaderboard.
Yep.
He's in the
500
top
for the
10.
day,
It's
yeah.
not
Well,
too much to ask.
He played with Harris English, who they showed.
I couldn't
A-
have told
a
you who he
lot.
played with, and I watched the entire telecast.
He played. I
had
don't
a
know about
theory on
Sunday,
that for
but
a
yeah,
while. He and Amy. They didn't have major sponsors that are big sponsors
Oh.
in the PGA and LPGA tour. So if
Yeah.
you have Ide Bailey or Bell Bank,
Shields. Yeah,
they don't have a relationship with the PGA or LPGA tour.
they don't
Whereas
have to fill airtime.
Whereas,
Oh,
yeah, I mean, if you've got a
rants.
Callaway logo on, or
Yeah.
and they're major sponsor of the tour, TV sponsor, the PGA Tour, LPGA Tour, the CBS or whatever, they have all the motivation in the world to get as many imprints of Callaway or Titleist
Yeah.
on there as possible.
That's a good
they
point.
have no incentive to put Ide Bailey on TV.
This
That's a
might
good
be
point.
our conspiracy theory show.
That's a good one.
We got In and Out.
I hadn't thought of that.
We got
In and
TV
out burger.
time.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
I do.
either.
I mean, yeah, I could definitely see that. But yeah, Tom played well. I mean,
That's great.
Play well there at Riv. There's actually oh, maybe not. I was going to say correlation between here and Augusta, but I don't think there is. I didn't see it.
No.
I saw a different stat. There were 2 different courses. I tried to. Never mind.
He's played every event so far.
Yeah, it's his first week off. He's not playing in Mexico this week. He's going to play.
Oh, is he not play-
Yeah,
okay.
he's going to play PGA National though. So this is his first week off.
Yeah, then they start Florida Swing.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
another
good-
fun part of the
that's
tour.
another really good swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we're down. And,
Well,
Murmur,
murmur,
be there.
murmur.
Gonna be there in a couple weeks.
yeah, we might have to check him out.
Well, it's gonna be 50 degrees here, so you're suckers. Not getting any warmer weather down there. Bet you're
They're in
wishy
the
back
Caribbean.
here.
I think it's going to be
Maybe a
warmer
little
than
warmer.
50.
I hope so. I hope so.
I don't know. I don't know about that. But yeah, Tom, I think he needs to be inside the top 50 to get the invite to Masters this year. Because he hasn't really done anything
Okay.
win-wise.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And
But
what
he was
is
like
right now-
56, and then he moved
Or-
into the 15th in FedEx. So I don't know what he is in world golf ranking right now.
If
but
that was the case, wouldn't you? Well, you got to have a break.
he played this
Wouldn't
was
you go
his
to Mexico?
8th week in a row.
All right. Yeah, then I get it. I get it.
But the strength of field in Mexico is not very strong either. So it's not like the world ranking points probably aren't
Yeah,
there.
would
in
a
Mexico.
win
Yeah.
there do much for him anyway?
Well, yeah, a win would get him into Augusta, but
win
like
automatically gets him.
if you don't win,
Right.
there might not be enough. It might not be beneficial enough to get to the Masters anyway. He needs probably another good week for sure, maybe 2 weeks.
Another player that was on my mind, Rory McIlroy. Did you see what happened to him?
He is burnt out.
He was, that first day, he was 3 under through
Yeah, early.
12.
Yep.
And cruising along, and he makes triple on a par 3, and it was just like sayonara.
He plays better over in Europe.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Jeez, you guys related?
No, Well, was it you who said on the last podcast you didn't think Rory would do much this
Nope.
week?
I called that. That was the exact thing I said.
Yeah.
because he
You're
was
like,
he was like the second highest priced guy on DraftKings. It was like, no way Rory plays well.
Yep.
Yeah.
No way.
What's going on?
I'm pretty low on Rory right now.
Yeah.
I think he just got burnt out with this whole PJ Tour Live deal. I mean,
Yeah.
he had every eyeball in the world
Yeah.
looking at him
for 2 years.
for 2 years,
years.
talking about this stuff, and now he's just his golf. You can't.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are. You can't handle that kind of pressure and play good golf, and he's still
That's
trying
fair.
to work back from that.
I
But
bet he's a little bitter. He's got friends on both sides, and he
Right.
probably feels a little betrayed by
Well,
some
now
guys
he's-
that have left. And,
now he's
yeah.
flip flopping, so now he's got people calling him out for flip flopping. He's like, I just tried to get myself out of this. I just want to play golf, and he dug himself too
Yeah.
big a hole, and so it'll be a while, I think, but I think it would be hilarious if he wins the Masters. So just does nothing, and he just shows up in the Masters for his last to complete the Grand Slam.
He made the cut at Riviera, though, right?
He did.
He didn't make
He
the cut, but it wasn't a hard cut to miss.
Yeah.
But there were
top
some
50
guys
in
that
Tiger
missed.
it.
Wait, JT?
Matt Kuchar missed it because he was
JT
on my
missed it.
team. Yeah.
Thomas
JT
missed it.
played
Ricky Fowler missed it.
so bad, though.
No.
All my guys made the
Jordan
cut.
Spieth missed it.
Wow.
Tiger missed it. Well,
What was
and
wasn't
JT.
Jordan? What was Jordan when he
He was
was
a
up
couple
there,
under,
wasn't he
I think.
five
yeah.
or 6 under?
I thought he was
solid.
5 under.
He
He
was
was
like
a-
5 or 6. He
It
was
was
like
a
in the
typical
top.
Jordan Spieth round. You end with a double, and you're still like 500
He was
par,
like top 5, I thought.
I thought so too.
And the tour needs those guys playing well, too. Justin
yeah.
Thomas,
I
he
know.
missed the cut. Did we
He
already
did.
say that?
Yeah.
He did not play well at all.
Need those guys.
And that's what they're talking about. This was an elevated event. You got some of the biggest name Tigers playing, and then you got JT, Tiger, and Jordan Spieth all miss the cut. Rory's playing terrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got Patrick Cantlay, who's arguably one of the least liked people.
They force us to
watch.
watch him.
You know,
Oh my goodness.
He dresses
oh
nice.
my gosh, talk about
Looked like cashmere sweater. I mean, look.
my biggest thing this weekend. They were ripping on, and most people aren't going to get this, but aim point and pace of play.
Yeah.
And I'm an advocate for aim point because it helps read the green. You feel it. But they were just, I forget who they're talking about. Zinger still do commentary? Doesn't matter. But they were talking about it, and these guys, they don't use aim point. And they're talking about how aim point, they don't really like it because it slows the game down, makes his game longer. And then they cut right to Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele are a hole behind, and neither one of them use aim point. And it's like, you guys, aim point's not the issue here. You got two guys that take 5 ever over this golf ball, and
Brutal.
one of them doesn't like wearing hats. So
I know. I'm still a little bitter with those two clowns over the Ryder Cup.
Me too.
I'm bitter with everybody over the Ryder Cup. I mean, there's no pride to play for your country. Like I mean, you look at the European teams; those guys would fall off the ends of the earth to play
go
for
play.
Europe.
Did I tell you I heard an interview with Lanny Watkins? Did
You
we
did.
talk about that
Yep.
last time? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and that's where it's just like I think there just needs to be a little reset button.
Agreed.
Something has changed.
Yeah.
So
You know,
I'm
Lanny
available.
Watkins fact, he holds the scoring record at Riviera.
he does
20 under.
Really?
Think about that
That's
golf.
good playing.
four rounds.
4 rounds, and he is probably using Woods.
Yeah.
Wow.
How much does that golf course change? Has it changed much? It looks like hole one's fairway is like as wide as this table.
Oh, we should ask
now,
Tom
but
Dolby about it. He played
Yeah,
the
I know.
95 PGA Championship
I think
there.
10's probably changed a little bit. That drivable par
I like
one. That was a
10.
great.
That's a good
It's a
looking
great
hole.
hole.
That is pretty.
I
Yeah.
love all the data that they get from
Yeah.
it, and
Yeah.
you can look over the years, and now everybody just hits
Yes.
it up there, but they're still making double.
Yeah, they are.
You know,
Yes.
it's hilarious. It's a great hole to watch. There's some great golf out at Riviera, that's for
Yeah.
sure. Speaking of golf ranges, I know, and we can talk about it closer to the Masters, but it was just released as a scorecard for this year's Masters.
Okay.
And, you know, Augusta always changes their golf course year to year to fit the game. The only change they made, they added 10 yards to number 2, and that's it.
That's it.
That's the
That's
only
the only change.
That's the only change they made this year.
Wow.
So,
Interesting.
little
10 yards
tangent
to
on
2.
that one.
Okay.
But yeah, let's get into this week here. We're going down to Mexico, like I kind of alluded to. Unless you guys had anything else with Riv. But
Well, do we want to talk about our teams from last week?
Nick
first?
and I can talk about
They
our
did
teams
it-
from
they
last
did a
week.
deal.
Yeah,
We
Nick and
were
I
on our own.
can.
We weren't here.
Yeah.
Oh, I did a team.
Oh,
Oh, that's good. It doesn't qualify right now. You're not on the show.
That's funny. He's finally pumped about his
I'm
spot.
finally happy about my team. I was screenshotting
Oh,
after
yes.
round
This
one
stays
because
with me.
I was leading.
That's hilarious.
That's a great team.
Great.
Mark.
You can talk about your
It is
team.
fun. It is fun, even if it doesn't last the whole week.
Yeah.
When you're leading out of 1,000 people,
yeah.
it's like, well, yeah, I knew what I was doing with
Right.
this one. And then it's impossible to stay in that position all week.
That was my
Insane.
message to you. I said I'll check back on
Right, you
Sunday.
did.
So,
Yeah.
Well, even though my team doesn't count, I did put up 469.50.
What'd that get you in
Good
on
luck.
spots?
I
Or like,
beat him.
where'd you
You did.
finish?
Oh, I finished 160th
Mark,
out of 1,000 people.
I still beat you,
Did you beat me?
and I only made 30 cents.
You had a good team.
I had 489.50.
That's a lot of points.
And I was 2,000.
9.
And I was 2,000.
you were in a different tournament than he was in.
Yeah, I know. What
Yeah,
does
I
that
know,
get? What does
but-
that get me in his though?
489.
Well, we're going to look that up.
489.50.
Okay, you keep
Well,
talking.
nothing too special.
No, here. you might have made 50 cents.
Well, better than
No.
30 cents.
Wait, actually, 489.
489. We're still looking.
Oh, I went over it. We're getting there.
You
All right. You would have won $1.50.
$1.50.
Hey.
Okay, I would have taken a $1.50. Better than 30 cents.
It was a $2
Well, didn't I
entry.
make $1.50? I thought I made $1.50.
That's
did.
tough. That's tough.
well, we
would've-
would have made the same.
I had like 420. Matt Kuchar missed a cut, so I'm
I had
not.
a-
I'm not anywhere near that goat.
I had
Who
a
was your
really
team,
good
Nick?
squad. I had Luke List.
Heard of him?
Yeah,
Brandon
nice tournament
Todd,
by
He's been
Luke.
Yeah.
hot. He's been hot.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yep.
I said, why not?
You were on
this,
it.
this is
Oh,
Luke
I
List
like this
week.
squad.
Yep.
Brandon Todd,
Yep.
Bo Hostler,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Adam Scott,
Mhm.
Max Homa, and Scotty
I
Scheffler.
like the Homa Chef
Yep.
pairing.
My lowest was 4 under, all the way to 14 under.
Tom Hoagie
Nice
had more
team.
points than Scotty Scheffler.
I know. How about
Yeah.
we didn't
Guy can't
talk
make
about
up putts.
Scheffler? We don't need to
Well,
kick a guy when he's down, but
We talk about him every week. The guy can't make any putts. It's the
Terrible.
same story.
it's bad. I saw he threw his putter right.
Yeah, he's starting to throw close. It's getting to
You
him.
got to be
starting
so
to throw.
frustrating though in that situation. For
saw it.
you know you're gonna win any tournament if you can just
Can't make it to
roll the rock.
I saw.
You got to get so frustrated with yourself now.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to Nick here because I doubt you guys have probably seen it. But you know the meme with the NBA commissioner that's like, get ready to learn like whatever, buddy?
Yeah.
He went to Scotty. It's that meme. And it goes, get ready to learn broomstick, buddy. Because he's just keep
Yeah.
missing
It's
putts.
got to
What's
change.
a
So you'll
meme?
see him with the broomstick. What's a
What's a
meme? Yeah, good on.
Well, I think he needs to commit to missing putts on the high side.
Just be on the high side
Just-
every time.
Just overread it and hit him harder.
Something.
Or read more break.
Well,
so
but-
then you just consistently, at least then you could dial it in from there and go, okay, I'm going to start reading less break.
I'll rebuttal that a little bit because the putts that he's missing are like inside. Some of them are inside 5 feet.
Yeah, I was
he
gonna
had,
say 5
he had
six.
8 putts that first round that he missed inside 10 feet.
Then he needs a lap putter.
He
Right.
needs Boothie to
He
give
needs
him a little.
something.
But that's
set.
where like he could almost read less break and hit it harder.
At this point, what's he got to lose?
You know,
Fly in the
for-
Fargo, Scotty. We'll set you up with Boothie. Give him an hour.
We were gonna touch
will
on
leave
it.
here being the better putter.
We
Hour
were
and a
going
half.
to touch
Hour
on
and a half.
his we were going to touch on his barber, right? He needed to go see his barber. That Ivan the barber.
Yeah.
He needs to go see him. Guess what he did? Scotty gets a haircut at Riviera.
Yeah, I saw that.
Sent you guys that video. So now he's not
Well,
even
did
getting-
Ivan fly with him?
No.
How do we know it wasn't Ivan?
That did not look like an Ivan.
Okay.
Yeah. So
like a wheel.
is Scotty off this week?
Yeah, he's not playing
Maybe
Mexico.
he should get in and just trim it up
Just try to
because this guy
get
didn't.
back to the vibes.
and then
get back
Ivan
the-
can talk to him because we have a message in with Ivan.
Okay, that's good to know.
Through Bobby Knudsen.
Yep.
Cousin
We
Bob.
need to have Bob on the show. Have him call in.
What are the chances that Bob gets in roughly the same time Scotty gets in? Does a little overhearing, maybe name drops sweet shots a little bit. Let's attack it from both angles here.
Yes.
Bob, and we
Yep.
know you're listening, so, you know,
Yep.
I don't know if you can get on the
I
schedule.
like it.
Maybe Scotty uses a fake name when he goes in there. We might have to figure that out.
We could send Bobby some merch. So
We
he's,
could
he's
share
dolled up and
Yeah,
sweet
share
shot
that
stuff.
There you go.
Well, give it to Ivan.
Oh,
Barbers love to have stuff on the wall. We could send him a picture of DJ.
We should like, I don't know, I'll tell you, we could like Photoshop a picture of Will Zalatoris holding a broomstick putter with Dave Booth.
oh, I like that. Is that
Because Will Zalatoris is lapping Scotty
Yes,
and putting right
he is
now.
right
Now
now.
he is. Yeah.
Yep. I like it.
He sees it up on the wall. He goes, Ivan, what's the deal there? Oh, those are my buddies up in Fargo.
Fargo.
They
Yes.
worked with Will Zalatoris a little bit, fix
love
his
it.
Dialed him
putting.
in.
Hey, how old school can we go on it? Like, can we Photoshop a Ben Crenshaw in the picture and take kudos for
Just
how good a powder he was?
just really kinda
Henry Panic-Who.
pique his interest a little bit. Like, that's not right.
It's like
Yes.
Boothie hasn't aged at all.
Yeah, we
that
could
bad?
go with all the great putters
Yeah.
over the last 50 years of putting.
It's just the same picture of Boothie every time.
Every time with Boothie.
What's up with this guy?
He's a legend nobody's heard of. Okay, well, we got things in. Let's get the ball rolling here with Ivan. Let's
Okay.
send him some merch, maybe a picture here or there.
And we don't even-
will get Scotty better at putting.
Yeah, we don't even want anything for it.
Nothing.
No.
We just want to stop talking about him missing putts.
I just want him to start making us some money on
Yeah,
DraftKings.
Right, that's kind of what I want.
Yeah. Scotty, here's the deal.
Yeah, listen up. Listen up.
We picked you every week, and you've let us down.
I think this was one of his first weeks outside the top 10. Because of his
tied for 10th.
Was he really?
Yeah, tied for
And
10th.
he was dead last in putting.
Yeah, he was.
Of the people.
Eight
Dead
under, tied for 10th.
last. Dead last.
That's rough.
That's so
Okay.
tough. Okay, so now let's get into this week quickly here. Going to Mexico.
Yep.
I don't know much about this. The comparison that I did see was comparison between here and Torrey Pines. Got to be a bomber. Got to have a good long iron game. I'm not really, I'll be honest, I'm not really familiar with this tournament.
Neither am I.
I'm not either.
And I didn't
Just take
get
a
a
look.
team in.
I didn't either.
I got a team.
We were slacking.
He's got a
We were
team.
talking-
I'm recording, so my team will get in late, but I will
I'll go over my
collect other
team.
day.
I just
Go
went
ahead.
with guys
Yep.
that are hot
Let's hear it
right now.
Mark. Yep.
They're playing. Their golf is hot. That sounded weird. Okay.
The best
Tony
looking
Finau.
Yeah.
Hoffman.
He's
Charlie Hoffman.
He's
on
candy.
a Maverick McNeely. Has been playing well. He's come back from injury. And then I think it's Victor Perez.
Pat Perez's brother
Well, I believe he's
just deleted it.
I just deleted him. I believe he's from Mexico.
Oh,
Anyway,
That
so
would
that's
help.
why I went
Okay.
with that. And then McIntyre and
Robert.
Hadley.
Okay. Okay.
and Hadley.
Yeah,
Very nice.
it's a solid team. You guys might not.
It seems like an under the radar team.
It's an under the radar team, but there's not a lot of
No, the
on
strength
the
of field
radar
is not-
guys in
I
this
mean,
one.
you've got a couple guys at 12, or there's a guy at 12,000. Is that Finau at 12?
Finau.
Yeah.
Finau's at 12.
But then you got like 51 guys I saw at $5,900.
yeah,
Like the strength of field is just not there.
It's not.
I doubt this, or I think this will probably be one of the least watched tournaments of the year.
just
Okay.
golf junkies.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I want to be in it. But
The winner
yeah.
still gets to go to Augusta, right?
Right.
I mean, there's still a lot
and
of
it's-
positives.
Tournaments like this are great for like up and coming talent. You can see like these guys got to play. They got to keep their card, whatever it is.
Yep.
You might even see a first time winner, which is awesome because that's life changing stuff too.
Right.
You know, so still stuff to watch for, but it's just tough. We talk about names, and to have where are the most expensive? You got like Tony Finau, and I don't even know who else is playing. But
That's about it.
Tony Finau, Emiliano Grillo, Nikolai
Yeah.
Højgaard. I like him.
Van Royen's playing.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
See that.
a big Højgaard fan, so I think he could play pretty well this week. He bombs the ball. He's a generally European tour, but I would say his chances are pretty good this week.
Yeah.
Nikolai.
Yep.
So
Good to know.
maybe we'll recap teams because
Yeah.
I don't have and I got to wrap this short here, but we don't have teams kind of selected. But
We'll talk about them next week.
yeah, we'll break it down. We'll
Mhm.
break it down. Any last?
What do
thought?
we got coming up here? Anything we should promote?
Yeah, Sweet Shots. We got our adult learn to plays kicking up here in March with
Yep.
this good weather. I know it's starting to bug. So that sign-up's live. We got
Some
our
Monday night deal,
Monday
right?
nights.
Yep.
Yep. We might add, if this one fills up, we'll probably add another session.
Our veterans started last Saturday.
we
That
did our-
session's full.
Yep, we did our PGA Hope program, which was awesome. A lot of great people there.
That's awesome.
Just amazing.
Ton of fun.
Yeah, you could just tell their attitudes are like, yeah, we're here to learn. Let's
Yep.
go. Let's
Yep.
have some fun. So to be able to do that for veterans or active service members, that's very rewarding.
Yes,
So,
it was awesome. We did that, and then we've got spring leagues going to start up here.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to get out to a golf course, but we're the only spot where you got full ball flight right now.
Yep.
and play some golf.
it's a great way to tune up for the getting out on
It's
the
awesome.
regular
It's
links.
awesome.
Play that spring
We
league.
just added a couple new golf courses with top tracers, so
Saw that.
we'll work those in. But those signups are on the website as well. So, and then you got your regular DJs every week. I know we post schedules. So today's Tuesday. We got trivia. Wednesdays.
Purse bingo.
Purse bingo
Bingo.
this Wednesday. When this comes out, hopefully this is Purse bingo night. And then you got Thursday's live music.
music.
Fridays
Ella
you
Rudd.
got
Ella is in the house.
sure. Then you got happy hour deals on Friday.
Yep.
Do it all over again on Monday. Bingo on Sunday.
Bingo on
too.
Sunday.
Sports trivia on Monday.
Sports trivia.
Ugh.
We took fourth last night. Not bad.
Not bad. Top
Nope.
five. Top five players.
There were only 14.
They were only 14. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I was going
There
to
were
read
a
it.
bunch of teams the week before.
Yeah, it was
we
packed.
represented the week before.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right. Well, okay. That might do it for us here. This is a good show. Hopefully we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll let you in. If it didn't make the cut, there was a nice segment beforehand that we talked about. Might have lost it. So that's why this one's a little short. But hopefully that gets thrown in there with some okay audio. If it does, sorry for the bad audio. That's
Yeah.
why the recording's so bad. But that's going to do it here for us on this round. Come back next week for another round here at Sweet Shots. We'll see you then.